to start off with, today, October 22nd, roll call. State your name for the record. We have it.
Martin Leal.
Reba Cardenas McNair. Tara Putnett.
And Fernando Bailly. Move on to comment period, correct? I believe we have 3 minutes for, public comment form.
Yep.
Is there somebody that wants to make a public comment?
Yes, that's right.
For the record, my name is this on? My name is David Willis, and I live at 1905 Palm. And next door to me, someone is building an apartment complex consisting of 4 units. And I'll be honest and state that I'm not happy to have a 2-story apartment complex being built next to me. However, what has been done is done. The design of the building shown on the rendering is nice, and my family and I hope that the owners are able to rent the units for a very high price. I watched your meeting held on September the 13th, where the parking for the apartment complex was discussed. The initial rendering provided for some parking in the front, with the reservation of most of that lot's retaining wall and green space between the street and the parking. During last month's meeting, this body determined that parking in front of the complex was not proper, and with citation to the Unified Development Code's requirement of a 10 to 25-foot setback, the owner of the complex was directed to have all parking in the back with a small drive connecting a portion of the side alley to Palm Boulevard. I'm here to express my opinion that the current application of Article 4.3F for traditional neighborhoods to homes only on Palm Boulevard frustrates its stated purpose to, quote, accommodate redevelopment of those properties. This is a picture, and I can pass them around, I have them for everybody. This is a picture of the foundation recently poured, and you can see that there is just enough room for 1 car between the slab and the sidewalk, which is what this body instructed the owner to do. However, if I look out from my house and look northeast on Palm Boulevard, I will no longer see the street, but I will see a 2-story structure because it is up so far forward. Having a 2-story structure of that size so close to the street is not, in my opinion, harmonious with the other properties on Palm Boulevard, which are farther set back. Moreover, forcing an apartment complex residents to use the alley for parking does not, in my opinion, take into consideration the reality of using an alley for parking. These are 2 pictures that I took this morning of the alley. The first shows my section of the alley, and on my side you'll see debris from the vegetation that is cleaned up and cleared up from the gardener, and my neighbor. And that happens all down the line of the alley. All the neighbors use the alley for their debris. Also, this was collected up yesterday. Also this morning is on the other side of Ebony, and you'll see the debris is still there, completely blocking that particular alley and the access to that garage area.
I'm sorry, Mr. Willis, there's a 3-minute.
Okay, I just got 1 sentence here. Can I finish that?
Sure.
All right, so in the end, my concern is by forcing everybody into the alley, it is not really taking into consideration the reality of people's lives. Those apartments, there's 4 units, there's probably gonna be 2 cars apiece. They're all gonna be going through a single alley, and I don't think that the current application of 4.3F is accommodating that development and is harmonious with the rest of the neighborhood. I'm not coming to you with any solution, but I am coming to you with I think is a concern. That's what I'd like to express. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. I believe now we move on to, the term of officers, correct? We have to pick, since we all came on board at the same time, we need to pick I'll pick it if you want. It doesn't matter. You tell me. To stagger our terms. These are the ones ending in 25? Calvin Walker? A year and a half. Year and a half. Calvin Walker, Tara Putinette, and Reba McNair. We need one more? Me. Mr. Rodriguez, lucky. And the other three are there. So the, Mr. Rodriguez, Ms. Putinette, Nair, and Mr. Walker. See, it's probably the same last time. Those are for the ones ending in a year and a half. Yeah.
2025.
And the rest of us is the term after that.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe move on to, election of the review committee. Is that correct?
Yep.
Discussion, public action, election of 3 members, to serve on the architectural review committee. We need 3 members. I believe we had somebody volunteer last time.
Yeah, it was Mr. Walker and Mr. Love.
And Reba. If they're not here, can we nominate them? Yep, so then we'll nominate Reba, Mr. Walker, and Mr. Loft to serve on the Architectural Review Committee. I believe we need a vote on it?
Yep.
A motion?
I'll make that motion that Mr. Walker, Mr. Loff, and Ms.
First,
McNair serve on the art committee.
do we have a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now I believe we get into the agenda items, correct?
No, the minutes.
Oh, the minutes, approval of, oh, I'm sorry, approval of September 13 minutes. I think we've had some time to review them already. Shall I make a motion?
Yeah, I make it. Approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we go into the public hearings.
Yes, we will
Any-
go directly to the item number 6. Buena
Item
Vida.
number 6. I believe, we first ask if there's someone to speak on their behalf, the Buena Vida neighborhood.
Yes, good afternoon, Chairman, and thank you again for having us come before you. I'm going to not go through the entire summary of Buena Vida because I know that that was done at the last time, but just really quickly, the redevelopment of Buena Vida has been on the HACB strategic plan since 2014. And it is also a Choice Neighborhood awardee from 2016. We had over 150 meetings with community members during those 2 years of 2016, 2018 on the redevelopment and the vision of that 6-city block. And so today we come to you with a presentation of our design. We have members of our development team here with us. We have our CFO, Mr. Miguel Herrera, and we have our members of our co-developer from Versa Development, Mr. Manish Verma and Daniel Hendren. We also have our partners, Friendship of Women, because one of the 3 applications in this redevelopment is a supportive housing community in partnership with Friendship of Women. So we have Ms. Gloria Ocampo here and also Daisy, thank you for being here. And then we also have our A&E Able City, and they will take on the presentation and present it to you. This is the redevelopment of Buena Vida. It was awarded 56.4 million this past summer in tax credits, and we just received word that we are also receiving funds from the Federal Home Loan Bank of 1.7 million. So it is a huge undertaking from the HACB. My name is Carla Mancha, and I'm the CEO for HACB and BHOC. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our architects, Able City.
Good afternoon. My name is Luis Pruneda, and along with me is Mr. Angelo Gomez. We're here representing Able City, which is the architectural firm for this magnificent project. And as an overview, we would like to mention that our project is currently 30% construction documents. And the reason we're here today is because we like to get your eyes on the progress and get your feedback. Can you go to the next slide, please? Next one. The Buena Vida neighborhood, the existing context is the site lies within the Buena Vida neighborhood inside the Downtown Heritage Overlay District. The Buena Vida neighborhood mainly consists of small residential lots with houses of various architectural styles and churches, business, restaurants integrated into neighborhood. The Buena Vida housing project provided 150 units for seniors and families, and is with one-story buildings. With this new project, we're increasing to 212 units, some of them in 2 stories and 3 stories buildings. As you can see there, the site is divided into three colors because there were 3 different applications, and for this we'll have 3 separate set of drawings. The projects are all happening at the same time. You can see the site, we have the supporting housing on the upper left corner, and the center is going to be the Buena Vida apartments, and the right side in purple is going to be the senior living. Next slide, please. The redevelopment plan for Buena Vida was built from input from the residents from Buena Vida and surrounding neighborhoods. I collected dozens of meetings conducted over 2 years after the Housing Authority was awarded the Hot Choice Neighborhood Transformation Plan in 2016. On these comments, they mentioned that they wanted to have larger modern buildings, balconies, bright colors, gable roofs. And also, many of the elements of the Choice Neighborhood Plan carry out into our design for the final proposed site plan, which we will see on the next slides. From the reconnection to Buena Vida existing street grid, because you can see there we show arrows that will be connecting visually the streets that were currently cut off. So in order to strengthen the 14th Street role as a neighborhood environment that also acts as community, commercial, and services center, transform the Buena Vida into a place that provides an opportunity for economic advances by providing jobs and providing place with shops and services. The plan re-envisioned the existing Buena Vida housing site as a vibrant mixed income housing development that met residential needs for access, transportation, walkability, shopping, and employment opportunities within the same site. The community input for Buena Vida residents and neighborhood stakeholders was collected across dozens of meetings and events, and many of the elements of the Choice Neighborhood Plan carry over to our final design, which we'll see in the next slides. Next slide, please. So the existing architectural characters surrounding the areas. So we have collected a few images of the buildings around the site that shape the perception of our intervention should be. So as you can see there, we took pictures of the surrounding areas, and we will be taking those elements and input into our design. As you can see there, we see brick, stucco, also some of the key elements that we will be integrating into probably. Yeah, and also the siding. You can see there, like on the middle image, the blue, and the upper left corner. So our building facades facing 14th Street were influenced by a few of these buildings, especially the brick on the Tamayo building, the old Webb Elementary building, and the building picture on the 13th Street and Ringgold. Some elements were pulled where they used the uses of cornices to add ornament and character to their facades. And for example, the way the Webb County building incorporates into gutters, downspouts, system into ornamentation of these facades. Also, we're trying to reuse demolished concrete and existing brick to be reused for pavers,
Reuse
pavers
what
as well.
concrete?
Sorry?
Reuse concrete?
To reuse, yes. So we're gonna be demolishing sidewalks, and that concrete we're trying to reuse some of them, and some of the existing brick to as pavers. So we will have the remains of what it used to be, and also we're keeping one of the buildings.
Just a quick acknowledgement that we have been referencing the provided design guidelines for historic residential and commercial properties available in the Brownsville website, especially the guidelines for new construction in Buena Vida. Next slide, please. So this is our proposed site plan. And in pink, you see the supportive housing development, in orange, the multifamily, which is also called the Buena Vida Apartments, and in purple, the senior living development. As we spoke about in terms of what was collected from the Choice neighborhood plan, something that was very important in terms of organizing the site plan was the use of pedestrian paseos. One, to reconnect the Buena Vida site to the existing street grid with Taylor and Polk. But two, they add a sense of connectivity within the individual developments and to the larger city. So you'll see two main axes, a horizontal smaller paseo and a vertical larger paseo, connecting all three separate developments. Also central from the Choice neighborhood plan was the creation of a large green space, which we're now deeming our Central Park, which will have a community building, which is part of the multifamily development. So to start off, to focus on the supportive housing application, you'll see that it has a large facade along 14th Street at the corner of 14th and Tyler. It has a large retail aspect, and it has office spaces, and it has residential. The supportive,
Where are the office spaces in?
we'll get into the floor plan.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So for supportive, it's a single 3-story building with parking that has private access nestled inside. Supportive housing, as Ms. Mancha mentioned, is in partnership with Friendship for Women, so it does have security aspects to it. So 3 sides of the development will be fenced off from Tyler Street, and 2 sides that are facing the paseo. The main facade facing 14th will not have that aspect to it. It'll have a much more welcoming public face to it. The multifamily application, it has 2 3-story buildings facing the paseo, and once we have a third residential building along 16th Street, and there the scale becomes smaller. It goes to 2 stories, and that building is next to the one I'm talking about is multifamily building C, is next to building D, which is the existing to remain existing Buena Vida building. The senior also has 2 larger 3-story buildings along the paseo, but it has a series of 1-story buildings along 16th and Ringgold. So something that was important to us was prioritizing street character. So what we mean by that is being contextually appropriate in terms of the scale of the buildings to what they're literally up against, and also things like tucking in the parking into the layout of the buildings or hiding it behind greenery. Connectivity and safety were important, so that's why we see the paseo connecting all 3 developments and giving that sense of connectivity no matter where you are in the site. So that's our proposed site plan, and we'll keep going. So in our pre-development meeting with Mr. Velez, we started discussing the use of materials and where we should be using. If you look at the unified code, it tends to favor stone, stucco, and brick for our building types and for the zone we're in. We came up with a strategy to where we were using brick and stucco largely on what we deemed our prime facades, which are highlighted in magenta in this drawing. So our prime facades are all the facades that are directly facing one of our perimeter streets. So you'll see a large investment of stucco and brick and more traditional sort of aspects to buildings along those streets. Once we get into the internal network of like the sides of buildings facing internal parking and internal green spaces is where we start to heavily use siding, which is our more economical facade material.
On the outer part, because it ties to the existing neighborhood. We wanted to have the same language, so you'll be walking around the streets and you can be looking either side, and they will tie these new buildings will have the same language. And once inside, we'll have a difference of mix of either stucco or siding.
And these are very generalized sort of groupings. You'll see in the renders that there is a sort of patchwork effect to break up the facade. So even though it says largely siding, there'll still be little pieces of areas where there's brick, for example. So next slide, now we're going to start going into each of the application developments separately. So this is the ground floor plan for the supportive housing building. What you see in that light orange tone is all of our retail shelf spaces that would be along 14th Street.
Will there be parking on 14th Street? Can you park there on 14th Street?
There's parallel parking.
There is parallel.
Yeah.
Because
One way.
if you're going to one of those
Mhm.
places, is the parking behind going to be available to you, or is that only available for the residents?
Yeah, it's private access for safety reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
So then for those buildings, it's going to be street parking.
Mhm. Yeah. And you'll see there is, if you look at the larger site plan, there is a lot of spaces to where they could park, for example, the multifamily application in the new private drive we created. So there is a lot of parking
Is
available.
there parking on, what street is this, Tyler too? Is that Tyler on the side?
Yes, we're proposing some parallel.
Is that available now?
I believe that it's tucked in right now. So it's cut into the sidewalk and you can, but we've in our pre-development meeting, the zoning people have looked at this and so far they didn't have an issue with what we were portraying in terms of parking availability. But obviously, like, we're still,
Well,
yeah.
Parking's always an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, so the orange tone shelf spaces is retail. And something Ms. Mancha touched on was in distilling down like what were the needs of the community they really wanted built into the Buena Vida design, a place where there was a place for economic advancement, whether it was through job opportunities or literally just having an area to where you have services and shopping opportunities available in close proximity to you. So the green tone is what we're calling our Friendship of Women wing. All of that is counseling spaces, for example, teen lounge, a kids lounge, all of their support spaces. And then between the Friendship of Women and the retail, there'll be a secured entry to where both the supportive housing residents and the Friendship of Women clients could enter through. And in purple, you see our typical housing units. So that's the floor plan. Now we're going to show you some renders of the main facade along 14th. So that's the main facade, and that's shown next to the vertical paseo that's shooting off of 14th. So the big challenge with the supportive housing building is that it was a 3-story building that was close to the street. So our main concern was how do we break up this building to where it doesn't feel like a massive facade landed on the site. And it kind of read as a series of facades that had been built across time as opposed to one giant one that had just recently been built. So you'll see that we play a lot with the verticality. So for example, the stucco comes up to certain heights to kind of create an optical illusion. You'll see alternating colors to siding, and you'll see large brick volumes. So some of the precedent images that Luis showed had a lot of banding at the top of the facade, decorative banding, and we're also making use of a half-round gutter to have it read more
A
historic.
half-round what?
A gutter, yeah, half-round. So to also bring the scale down of the building, you'll see we put special attention to the forefronts at the human scale. There, can you go to the next slide, please? They're pushed in, they're angled in to bring people in. There's canopies engaging people as they walk down the street, and then we try to create a focal point of the facade, which is, so this is the double height secure entry for Friendship of Women in the supportive housing I was talking about earlier.
So are these housing units above the retail? These
Yes.
are housing units?
Yes, you'll see the balconies up there. So,
Yes,
and yeah,
uh-huh.
anytime you see the balconies, it's a housing unit up there.
And this is for supportive housing?
Yes.
Housing units for supportive housing?
Yeah, this is all supportive, which we thought was a very unique facade because we consider our most forward-facing, public-facing facade. So we paid special attention to this one to try to really like meld it into
What is this, the gray and the white, what is that material?
its siding. So just as a general note for us, these renderings are, this is an area where brick will go, this is an area where siding will go. We have not made final color selections. Just to clarify that aspect of
Okay,
it.
and then this next brick building, so it's brick and siding, and then there's another brick building. Is it an optical illusion? Or is that on the, or
Oh, there's a break,
there
right?
is, so
Yeah.
it comes out a little bit?
Yeah, clear, it's hard to describe, but it's clear on the first floor you could walk through. And there's a bridge connecting the second and third floor that will read as, you'll see some other aspects of this language. It'll read as a transparent sort of light feeling to it. Look, think metal mesh, kind of connecting the two buildings. At least that's what we're thinking so far. But the main reason is we wanted to keep the width of each block of building to be less than 140 feet in width.
So is this an old street in between the gray and the next brick? Is that part of Paseo going through or no?
No, it's just a way of providing also egress for people to, yeah, so otherwise they'd have to go all the way around the building to get out in case of an emergency. So this is our supportive housing, and then we'll keep going. Please. So now we're going to show you a few examples of our multifamily application. Two of them will be
I'm
along
sorry.
the Paseo, and one of them will be along.
No.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear, right?
Oh,
hard
you
to
can't hear me?
Do we need to know, as far as for historical committee, respect for everybody else, do we need to know what details do we need to? I believe we're more about the function, the details, elevations, materials, impressed with design and layout and all that kind of stuff. But I think we're going to be more pertaining to us would be the aesthetics, parking.
So
Go-
once you explain the site plan, I think that maybe you can go simply through the facade, so you
Yeah.
can see, you can.
Put a lot of
show
effort into, not to
the
put
facade
out,
for
you
the-
put a lot of effort into the presentation just
Yeah.
to get to the stuff.
Yes, and I
then-
love the idea of a central park. That
Yeah.
looks so nice. And is in your budget to have all the trees that you have drawn?
Yeah, and
You have you have a substantial landscape budget?
we have a landscape architect on board, and they're in the progress of surveying all the existing trees as well to see what overlaying the proposed versus what we have in terms of existing trees, and see what can be saved and what can be incorporated into the new design.
Now, in the very first picture, you had sort of an integration of web. Is that part of this or not at all? Of the web school? No, it's not part of it at all. Okay.
Oh, I see, in the initial choice plan.
Yeah,
Not in this part of it.
no,
Yeah.
okay.
So they want us to run through the renders?
Is this the rear of what we just saw?
No, this is a multifamily building. So this is if you're along the horizontal paseo, looking at one of the multifamily facades. So here again, you'll see we try to create a lot of relief in the facade in terms of how we organize the units. So we have typical units and we try to organize them in a way to where we had that interest in the facade as opposed to a flat plane. You'll see a special feature that's connecting most of these applications is that we're exposing the stair towers to the paseo. So that's, I didn't speak about this, but a lot of these buildings are using breezeways with conditioned units. So the breezeways and the public spaces aren't conditioned. So that's to provide a sense of relief in the stairway and provide that visual connectivity both from inside to out and outside in to see what's happening. And
But they won't really be using, they have elevators.
only the senior applications will have elevators. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yes.
people will not have is every unit a flat unit? One story, so it's.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so that's another aspect of this project. Only the senior has elevators.
What's the reason there? Just expense?
Yeah, I think it came down to budgetary reasons, and I think that the housing authority has had issues with maintenance with elevators and other past properties. I think it was a combination of those factors. So this is another multifamily application. So even though it's a more contemporary facade, we're still harkening back to the gable roofs that we saw in a lot of those.
Visible from the street? This facade's interior?
This is as if you were standing like you just parked in that internal parking in one of the multifamily applications and you're getting out. So this would not be visible from the street.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is that sense of security, like you see the way stuff, like all the perimeter facades are kind of creating like this internal green space for children and families to live in, basically.
I think having some gables on the inside, I like to use a brick. You're trying to match the brick and the roll lock and the soldier courses, all that kind of stuff is great. I don't know if you'd want to introduce some gables on the outside too, since you have gables on the inside, but none on the outside, just,
Yeah.
so the interior facades match the exterior.
Yeah, we'll make note of that. The senior one does do that, and I'll show you right
Oh,
now.
okay.
But yeah.
Great.
I think something we
Right.
try to do with a lot of this is that we kind of wanted it to read similar but different. We wanted the multifamily buildings to read as their own internal little thing, but also made sense in the larger context of the site. So that's in terms of whether they use the amount of gables they use in terms of accent colors, which, like I said, still have not been selected, but we could imagine, for example, for senior, the accent color might be a muted green, and for multifamily, it might be a muted light blue, for example.
Well, they'll have to come back for colors, won't they?
Yeah, colors and materials.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gonna be based on the color palettes from
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
We do have.
What are we looking at here?
So this is, we just wanted to show you a quick example of one of the smaller, more contextually sized buildings in multifamily. So this would be directly opposite, so this is 16th Street. So there's going to be a series of one-story residential opposite of where this building is. So this is where we start to really bring the scale down to the building, so like you don't feel that three-story building right next to you. So going into senior. So this is where I was saying this is a view from the paseo. And here you do start to see those gable elements on the more public side. And also if we were to turn around, you would see them on the parking side. So senior,
This is Ring-
yes. Ringgold would be along the right side of the drawing. Yeah, it's the intersection of this
So
horizontal.
it's the shortest, this is not the short side, no.
Is
The
it
long
what?
side. This is the long side, actually facing inward, and the Ringgold
Yes,
side would be.
you're kind of standing on Ringgold looking into that horizontal paseo, that
okay.
intersection, which we consider to be a crucial one. That's where we house a lot of amenities for seniors, a leasing office as well. So a lot of this was trying to create a really lush environment. We're thinking for now tones of greens and literally have greenery in the facade. I talked about the mesh and the metal frame and exposing the stairs to give transparency. And this is a example. So this is like down along the street of 16th Street where we saw that two-story multifamily. Senior goes down to one story. So a lot of more contextually sized buildings and batten board, brick, different types of siding.
And then in front of these houses, there is parking available for these people, parallel parking.
Yes, and there's also going to be enough for them in the internal
Oh, okay.
parking. So that's our presentation for now.
So mainly to retake the whole design, what they are doing is paying a tribute to the building materials that not only the old development had, but also the surroundings. They are a lot of craftsman and houses with board and batten. They are horizontal siding. There's also storage with stucco as well. So they are using those materials to remind us to remind us how do they play, just to merge correctly with the surrounding. So the staff.
It's one bedroom.
Oh, so for senior, these units are 1 and 2, or it's a mixture of 1 and 2 bedrooms. Multifamily and supportive go up to 3 bedrooms in certain cases. But senior, we felt it was most appropriate 1 and 2.
So the staff recommendation would be to approve the current presentation and just leave the minor details as colors.
The
And
colors,
very
yeah.
minor just to
Yeah,
discuss.
I appreciate, it looks like you put some effort into mixing materials. I was worried, would you use another apartment complex you did somewhere else and
No,
just plop
yeah,
it in.
no,
It does not look like that at all.
Yeah, awesome.
On the
But
next.
materials is gonna be important. The type of brick, looks like you're using like the board and batten look. I think that's gonna be really important. I mean, we just don't want another 50 years from now having to demo and build it over again.
Or 56
To me, if you
million,
build it
yeah.
timeless, to match the neighborhood, it could be there forever. And last longer.
So on the next meeting, you will approve the demo that has been already cleared by the Texas Historical Commission, and so they can move on.
Do we have to
So
take a
right
motion?
now-
Saving one of the
So-
buildings, thank
Do we need a motion right now to
Yes, please.
approve? Close public hearing first. May I have a motion to close public hearing?
you. So move.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public forum is closed. Have a motion to,
I make a
What's-
motion that we approve the plans, pending whatever needs to be added on with the color schemes and.
pending colors and materials.
Right.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll move on. Which agenda item do you want to do next?
Number one.
Going back to number one?
Yep.
1025 East 19th, the Gina Antonio Tamayo site. Do we have somebody here on, to discuss? Is anyone here to speak on this matter? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Albert Maradiaga. I'm here in representation of my father, who will be the developer. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here at this moment, but we do have our architect here who is able to tell you a little bit more about the site plan.
So just 1 minute, can you move forward? So this is an empty lot. The original house was a kind of shotgun facing to the 19th Street, as you can see it on the right. Just move forward. This is the rear lot, and what can you see from it? Move. So this is another angle with the kind of abandoned alley that is there. Just move. So the contributing housing that is in the surrounding is mainly 1940s, kind of bungalows. This has a rear attachment. This is the house that is just immediately adjacent to the proposed development, and this is another bungalow in front of it. So this is the site plan where you can see it's a very narrow place. So the kind of addition that they are putting on the front is in order to be able to create those 3 parking spaces and meet code. Just following.
Okay,
this
go
is-
back. Okay, so this is 19th Street and this is the alley. Okay.
Yeah, so the ordinance says that 5 feet behind the facade, you can put the parking spaces. That's the reason why they are extending to the left, that portion. We're going to see what is the impact of the facade. Okay, move forward, please. Move. It's a duplex, so this was the original proposal with stone and so. Can you move forward? And this is facing the rear area. Just move forward. This is one of the elevations. Just move. The other one. And this is how it looked like. That's for 19th Street. That's from the alley. Area view. And so as you know, the setting district says that the design has to be somehow a proper infill to the area. So the classical infill are bungalows. Just move forward. So this is the traditional neighborhood corridor regarding what you can build and the parking and so. Move forward. What are the things that are needed to do to build a house? Move forward. The suggested siding. Move. So yeah, move. The hardy plank as well. I'm providing examples of hardy plank as well. So fences if needed. So the staff recommendation was to table that, and they have brought another design. Naturally, they want to do the one that they are proposing. The issues are kind of the height of the entrances and so, and it's a little bit more of a suburban development, and also they are applying stone where it should be or hardy plank, or maybe if you want to do a wainscot of something, could be brick rather than stone, because that's proper from the valley. So we were recommending to table the item. However, if you don't mind, they are going to show another also design, and they are going to explain why do they want to do the first design, and then the second one that it's an alternative. Yep.
Hi, good afternoon. Marlon Bordes right here.
I'm sorry, what is your name?
Marlon Bordes. The first design's already done. My clients weren't, they didn't know that they were supposed to, or that there was gonna be any oppositions to the first design. They already have the structural design already done, and they kind of like the height, and they saw that it was much nicer. Bless you. A much nicer option as initially they saw it and they really liked it. So I mean, everything's already done, with this set. And, we did, do a second, option in case, you guys, didn't approve of the first one. But we're definitely, for personal, likes from the customer, they really wanted to go with this option.
Where's the second option?
I just printed one. Can I
Okay.
pass it to you guys? It's.
Guess we can share it.
Juan, can you bring that up and so we can see it?
So, the original, it's a single slope, and, it's also much easier to construct for as they see it fit.
Better, but still. The roof is.
Juan, have you seen this new one?
Elevated roof.
It's too high. Too high.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's too high for the neighborhood. Se me hace muy, but it throws the whole neighborhood off. The whole-
Can you go back to the floor plan? Can you?
There's the,
So it's a 2-bedroom and a 1-bedroom.
Yes.
Maybe what we can do, the item is stable and
What-
comes again, or the staff work with them in order to try to get that gable in position so they can move forward with that, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I think the second option is better.
Sure, we can change it.
If the gable is lowered. Would you be willing to work with Juan and some of the other members just to finalize those designs?
Of course, yeah, we can,
If we
modify
table
the
it.
plans.
Yeah, my issue is just that it's a little too high,
little too high.
lower, just so it could go flat and kind of run with the roofs that neighborhood, just not throw the fence way up.
Or maybe we can approach it through the architectural review committee.
Architectural Review
And
Committee?
Once decided that is going to be a similar comment, they
It-
can
it-
just move forward with.
just
the-
throwing it out there, if you'd consider, instead of the stone, using, the brick, what they call the historical brick, the adobe brick, just throwing it out there, if you like that look with the modern, with the siding, it looks really
Well,
nice in my opinion.
The second option doesn't have any stone at all. It'll all be siding.
Well, I was talking on the facade.
Facade.
Correct. The second one, we actually took out all the stone from the bottom and it's all
okay.
siding.
Okay.
Yeah, and the clients were okay with that.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to table the item.
And then have.
Well,
Our
we need to close
team
public,
architects-
yeah, we need to close public, have a motion to
Oh.
close public hearing.
So moved, close public hearing.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a motion?
To table the item and work with staff and the architectural review committee to discuss the plan
So they do not
or
need to,
the design.
they do not need to return back?
I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
once it's decided by the architectural review committee,
yeah.
I don't think
we
so.
can, I mean, the item can come, but as a post
Yes,
approval,
like a
so, you know?
Mhm.
So
Would
can
it
issue
help
this.
would it help if that entry, if they want to highlight the entry, if they did that out of brick, if they're willing to do that? Would it
Well,
help?
it's all,
It's all siding.
Right now,
I
we
just,
have all siding, but if you would prefer for us to.
I'll just throw that out there if that's what, if that helps.
I mean, they have all siding houses all
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, if we could go all siding, that would be better because.
Okay.
the-
Yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there if it helps.
Okay.
Looking for something that you guys get excited about too.
Well, getting it approved, that's what's gonna get us excited.
All right, so then I think we had a motion,
To table,
table, go through,
and then we'll go through architectural review.
Yeah.
And then, but they will have to come back for
No,
final.
no,
approval.
but the item comes back as, how do you call it? When an item is
Consent.
approved
Or the-
before and then later on simply is introduced? What is the name that you use here?
Table. Yes.
yeah.
Yes, and then it can go on consent agenda
We're-
if the architecture review committee comes to a recommendation, or what do you want to do?
I have a question. Can they get if the change is just aesthetic, can they get a permit to start moving on dirt work and concrete work is what I would.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that, on the comment letter that they gave us,
Uh-huh.
we need your approval in order for us to proceed for it.
So that's what I'm wondering is, can we give an approval with,
Subject
to,
Yeah, I don't think
the
that is
facade
faster,
change.
so the item.
I'm trying to get you a
returns,
permit is what, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Mr.
We're
Munoz,
here to
the
work
item
with you.
returns,
Yeah.
but as a, yeah, the item returns as a, how do you call, when you have already a preview, the item has been approved before and then simply comes for the, okay, check it. But it has been approved before. No, no,
I'm
no.
saying can we,
The name that you use here on the public hearings, when something has to return back, but it has been already approved, it's,
Reintroduced?
no. Consideration, is consideration an action or re-up?
Is it possible to approve with the approval of the
Condition.
control committee?
We
Yeah.
already have it done,
Yeah.
right? So, in order for us to get the permit, we just need to submit the changes with this. So we-
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
need another change, is the only.
but I think the change is only aesthetic. I don't
Yeah,
think it's gonna
correct, yeah.
change the
But it would
foundation.
be lowering of.
Just lowering that.
Lowering the.
Oh, lowering this?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can lower it about
Yeah.
another 2 feet.
Okay, so, but we need to go,
So the item can return as approval and ratification of something that has been previously agreed. So in this, the question is, in this case, if they were not tabled, but approving that the item is reviewed by the Architectural Review Committee, so then it returns as an approval and ratification of that agreement. They don't have to wait, they can continue the process
Right.
and simply returns back, so you can have the formal approval here in the Historic Preservation Commission, isn't it?
If the body phrases the motion that way and votes upon it that way, I don't see why not, sir.
Okay.
If that's how the body
We can
decides.
So again,
revise our motion.
so we're tabling the item so that it can,
No, not table. Not table. We're
You wanna
approving
approve-
on the condition.
You're approving on the condition that goes to the Architectural Review Committee. They end doing the corresponding recommendation, they follow up, and the item returns back, but as an approval and ratification. In that way, once they meet with the Architectural Review Committee, they can move forward with the project.
Okay, well
They
then,
do not need
whatever
to
he said.
wait. The waiting would be only to ratify that the decision of the Architectural Review Committee was okay. Okay?
Yes.
okay.
Right.
I so
I-
move.
Put it in that the second rendering is getting approved pending, modification by the Architectural Control Committee of the front gable over the front doors. And then.
But approval so they can move forward. Yeah, approval so.
Yeah, the front gable, it's 11 feet high. It's because it does look like it comes out, a lot, because the ceiling, right? If you see it, like, we put a gable on it. So, I mean, I can drop it down. That's it.
Yeah.
So how high is it?
I'm sorry? 11. Like, it's 11 right here.
I think our approval will let them apply for the permit and then resubmit the drawing with that modification. I think the way
We already applied for it, like, they're just waiting for your approval.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we are going to approve, okay,
I retract my motion so she can make one.
no. So it is approved.
Make a motion, make a
I
motion to
will make a
approve.
motion that the second rendering is approved pending lowering of the gable over the two front doors, which can be approved by the Architectural Review Committee.
Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trying. Moving on to number, what are we on, number 2? 455 East Levy Street, Texas Employment Commission Building. Speak on their behalf.
So this is the Lentex Corporation that was built in 1960. Can you move on? So what it happened is that they refaced, move on, so the photographs will show. So they refaced, I mean, somebody refaced these two facades. Go ahead. And this was discovered on a recent, on a recent, no, move forward. On a recent visit. So you can still have the two, you can see that they have still the two brick facades on the building. Just move forward. The detail shows clearly that it's refaced on top of the original brick that was built in 1960. So what they want is to do a rear store. So the recommendation was to try to get this rear addition not attached to the building, because the building, it may be designated as a state marker, but now with the refacing, it's not so simple. In any case, we have educated the property owners that they have a kind of an outstanding building. The ideal would be to build up this addition separate from the building, but not necessarily now. Maybe in a future where they can also think about to demolish that facade that is totally new, just to bring back the original facade that apparently it was a box. So that was what the CEO of the organization has told me the last time we met. So just move forward. So they want to do this kind of rear addition, opening on the rear wall, that double door.
You don't want it to be attached.
Well, the matter is that now the building with a new facade, it doesn't qualify right now.
Oh.
So what is the sense? I mean, what is the sense of not allowing them to do this design when maybe later on, if they want, because this building could have this kind of designation, so it will help
They'd
to
have to take off all
the
the brick.
nonprofit. Sorry.
They'd have
They
to-
will have to remove that facade and then they could redo this attachment just separate from the building. They have already agreed with a less high and also setback from the facade facing the Fifth Street. So that's okay. It would be only to separate the building if they want it in the future, if they are interested for the designation. Go ahead.
What's corrugated metal siding, though?
That's allowed in the ordinance well,
Shutters,
like, yep.
Kind of,
Go ahead. Yep,
Kinda
it's
like
metal,
the old
metal
metal
siding. Okay. This is the,
corrugated is the one that goes.
go ahead. Go ahead. So, yeah, so the staff recommendation was to approve as presented. And they simply have to complete the applications and so.
Do we paint?
No, probably.
No.
It's gonna be metal.
Pardon?
It's gonna be metal.
Finished galvanum, like a galvanum, like a silver finish, unfinished.
Okay, and so go back to the plan, so it's a little bit set back from the facade of this building. There,
There you go.
okay. Okay. And if someone ever wants to take off the brick, they can take off the addition.
Yeah, because if they were building separate the addition, they have also to enclose
Is this offices right now?
the area.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit.
We're a child abuse prevention program, so when we bought the building, I don't know, maybe about 15 years ago, it was an adult daycare center. So they obviously remodeled the inside to turn it into offices and classroom space. And right now, we don't have any storage, and I get a lot of donations, clothing, canned goods, car seats, school supplies to give back to our community. So we received a small grant so that we can attach that storage closet to the rear of the building. Originally, we had thought of just buying like a little house, a utility house, putting it out there, but the reality is that it will get broken into. So we thought if we enclose it and do the entrance through the inside of the building, only staff and volunteers have access to the items. But when we bought the building, we had no idea that it was in like a historic part of town. We've already did some remodeling to the roof 3 years ago, thanks to Leadership Brownsville. Thanks to United Way, we painted the facility from the outdoors just to make it look more, better eye candy for the community there. So, I mean, we're just kind of hoping that we get the permit passed so that we can proceed with that project.
Yeah, and the historical perspective, when we bought the building, we did a remodeling, and we do not have any of these advice that could be claimed as a historical building. So we already changed some of the doors, entrance doors. As you see, it's a no, almost no window
There are no
building.
windows. It's just a block.
And well, if we didn't know since then, they already have a daycare there with, they add some bathrooms, so we remodeled that part, make it the facility to help our community, and now we have this, well, this is a project from the Girl Scouts. They donate their time to give us a project. We modified it a little bit and trying to comply with your requirements.
And the metal siding is acceptable, so
Yep.
it is, okay. I move to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
I just hope you don't remove the brick that is there on that exterior wall. I'm just hoping you're attaching and not,
Just the opening to access.
yeah, just the opening to
opening.
access.
Yeah, we'll keep
Somebody,
it, yeah.
that way it could be reversible.
Yeah, I wanted to put it back.
In the future, if somebody does want to take it off, maybe you guys come into more funds, move on to a bigger and better building, and somebody takes over that building and they want to make it historical. But that's my only comment, if you could just try to not get rid of that brick when you're doing the demo.
Okay.
Do we have a
Motion to
motion?
approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work.
So
Thank you so much.
Next, number 3, 101 East Levy Street, the Annie and DA O'Brien site. Anybody here to speak on, that was Ramiro. I believe we received a message, he couldn't be here.
Wait and see.
What's the recommendation?
No, there's
He was here last
table,
time.
he's
but-
not able to join.
okay, so 101 is Levy Street, is at the corner of Levy and First. The house, you can see it on the upper part. Right now, it's an empty lot. So the proposal, go ahead. This is traditional neighborhood. Go ahead. So checking the houses that impact that are more important on the neighborhood is this one. As you know, it's a National Register Historic Places. Go ahead. So the site plan, what it shows is the carport on the rear. That's okay. The fourplex on the front. Just go ahead. So the issue is that when watching having a look to the drawings, it have more than 50 feet of depth. Go ahead. So what it means, this is the second floor. Go. Yeah. Renderings, go ahead. Yeah. So it's simulating a beautiful American Foursquare. So from a designing point of view, we don't have any issue. It's simply a formal matter that regards the code that specifies that the house can only have 50 feet depth. So, or there's an amendment to the code, or there's another way that is encroaching the rear yard as the ordinance specify precisely, no, precisely in that page. Can you go back? You could see what is called ERY, that is encroachment of the rear yard. So you can occupy 30% of the 50 feet by 50 you must keep for a rear yard and then build this addition. That's the only way to.
But then where's the parking?
So to do it, the parking would be on the rear. If you see the drawing that I have give it to you, the left drawing shows precisely the application of this ordinance, in which you will have, if you go to the maximum of that kind of corridor, that it would be kind of 18 feet. You would only allow 13 feet on the back. Initially, you can compress a little bit so you can have more space on the back. And the other one would be the amendment to the code that is simply to attach the rear addition to the current main house, but then you cannot build anything in the back. But that would be an amendment to the code. So then you can build around 78 feet of depth. And those are the two only
Oh,
alternatives.
we can't do anything. There's.
We
no-
cannot do anything on the amendment of the code. Yeah, that was
I'll second.
the thing that I was suggested. But I don't know if the owner has joined us through through online. Hello?
He said the table. Ramiro asked to
Yes.
table them.
Oh, ask to table this one and the
Unless
next
he's come
one.
online, he asked to.
Okay, ask to table this one and the next one. Okay,
Okay, so we're tabling. I move to
Okay.
table.
both?
Second.
Number 3?
Well, yes, number 3 and number 4.
Okay,
Table both.
who's second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, La Barata, let us go.
Moving on to number 5.
Yeah,
1609 East 11th Street, La Barata.
yep.
Someone here to speak on their
So,
behalf?
really, they are only doing interior job. Go ahead. This is to show the evolution of that shows the sample map. Go ahead. So right now, what they are doing is simply the interior, and they are changing some doors, the way they open. So there's no problem at all, because they are going to reuse it. But because it's impacting on the facade, I just brought it here, but they are going to reuse exactly the same doors that they have. So the recommendation would be to approve it.
They're not doing anything in the exterior.
Yeah, nothing.
Just interior.
Okay, so
Close public hearing?
close.
Close public. Yeah.
I make
I make a motion to close public hearing.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a motion
I
to,
make a motion that we approve for recommendation of Mr. Velez.
we have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number
7.
7.
Okay, this is kind of interesting, an interesting property. Can you go to the second? Okay, thank you. So this is the Francisco Ituria building. Just move forward. You can see on the, okay. So it's very interesting, the summer maps, because it show at the corner of Washington and 13th, that's where the churches, is located. But this property, it was composed by two units on the left, then a corridor, and then another one. And it has been preserved.
Wait, which?
Okay, on the lower,
Which month? Which
on the-
year are you looking at?
anyone, on the lower part of the Sambor map. where it-
1877, Sam?
Yeah, for example, if you see 1877 over the 13th, you would see to the left the alley, then two units,
Yes.
and then another unit. So the building was not like right now looks like that is only one. It was three. It was two two and one separate. Can you move forward?
And the 2 units belong to Francisco Iturria?
Well, it's not very well specified. It specified the whole lot. Okay, just move forward. So what it happened, it changed in 1957. You can see that then they joined both buildings, but before it was exactly always separate. So just
And
move forward.
added on to the.
Yeah,
side.
so what it happened here, yes, is that that door, you know, the left door precisely is where the corridor was located. So the left unit of the Cricket, the two panoramic windows, those would be 2 units. And then the other buildings separate where the right door is located, that would be the other one. You know, that's precisely the corridor, you know,
And you
to
see
the left.
separate.
Yeah, so perhaps working with the Texas Air Commission, they could bring back the building. You can see the corridor here all the way, except the back where there's a bathroom, but that was the separation between the two buildings.
And
So, but the problem is that,
the step was added on to, correct? It wasn't this
Yeah.
deep before.
yep. So the issue here is that they are proposing, move forward, they are proposing to remove those interior walls that right now are really the limits of the original buildings. Can you move forward? And then create new entries, new doors, and so on and so forth. So is that from the exterior is totally new, and from the interior, they are going to then demolish the historic structural walls that once were the limit of the 2 units to the left and the 1 unit to the right. So if this was bought by the very good preservationists, that I don't know if in Brazil exists too many or not, they will simply work on behalf of having that separation again and maybe clear also even the rear. So,
Okay.
or
What would prevent them from leaving the door as it is and doing an indentation, and then you go either right or left?
well, that okay, that's okay, but the facade right now doesn't resemble that. They are going to put three doors that are kind of symmetrical.
No, I mean, I'm saying we're not gonna allow that. But we would not prevent them from having 3 locations, but one door would you go in, and then there would go one way or the other way.
Yeah, that's another way to do it.
That's what they'd have to do.
Go back. So what you are proposing is that through that door, that entry, Cricket, go back. Hello, please. There. Through that door, they can entry well, I don't know if they would enter the 2 units because the 2 units were located to the left. And the right is an independent building, you know?
So do we have any indication of where, are we thinking this was always the location of the door? Or were there?
No, the original doors, if you go to the sample map, clearly, I mean, the 2 units on the left would have a symmetrical door center to that space. So there were 2 doors, and to the right, probably there were another
there
2
were.
double French doors.
So we could say they could have,
You could say that, yeah, that you can build those 2 units to the left or in a symmetrical way, and then to the right, probably the original store have another 2 double French doors. That's what I feel, and then simply as
so there
a
were
free
2
space.
doors. There were 2 doors.
Yep. I mean, otherwise you cannot have 2 spaces there.
Oh, okay. Well, then they can have 2 doors and then.
Yeah, but that's not exactly.
How are they going to close up the door that exists?
Yeah, but that's not exactly what they are introducing.
Yeah, how are you closing up this other door? How are you going to make it look right?
I don't know. Well, the ideal would be to separate the buildings, you know, and to create that rear space, because I don't know, you could even attract and open a restaurant there with a patio on the back. But maybe that's too much of dreaming, you know?
Over here in 1957, they added on. There is no patio on this one.
Yep, because they destroy the original corridor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going
Is
to
an
ask.
entry vestibule like a happy median, you know?
Okay,
just put-
Well, no, but
Could
I
you
mean,
go back?
if they can find a way to do it.
Okay, so
But the thing is, now what?
now what do you do with this building? This
Yes.
This building is receiving tax exemptions because there was go back. Because, okay, at least it was rehab some time ago before I came here and this is what it looked like.
So they got tax credits for restoring the
The
facade.
the previous owner, and simply they have inherited such tax
Yes.
credits. So the matter is that now you have kind of French doors to the right, you at least have some symmetry on that right facade with two storefronts and one door. But, so I would not touch that. And if you want to do something to the left, I don't know, maybe working in a symmetrical way, but what I'm saying is that now the owner will compromise the structure, so from my point of view, shouldn't have receiving tax exemptions, because he will be working without even historic photographs. So there's no way to, you alter the facade that was altered a long time ago or some time ago.
Okay. So the people that got the tax exemptions before, to our knowledge, those big windows existed. Is that correct?
Well, probably that was the rehab that was done in 1957, and that's what exists. But if the building shows as a medium preservation priority ranking right now, is because one still has let us say the feeling of the old border brick building, and also the structural walls are still there. If you remove, can you go to the floor plan a little bit more? If you remove those interior walls that are limiting the original buildings, then you are done.
Are you suggesting either or, if they want to remove the interior walls to put the facade the way it's supposed to be? Is that what you're?
Well, first of
Right.
all, we don't even have original photographs of the building, but what I consider is that if you approve whatever new order is being done in the facade, I don't see why they will have to get tax exemptions. Because at least right now it's medium preservation priority ranking. If you alter the current facade that was approved by the surveyors on 2018 to recommend this building as a medium, maybe it would be a low preservation priority ranking on a border brick building. So really the ideal would be,
Right now.
yeah, so the ideal would be exactly the opposite. Okay, no, just wait a minute. Work with what you have. You have all this historic material here. There was one building, another building with 2 units. Try to work with the facade with that. And so if you want to go back with the independent buildings and so, you can do it. If not, at least preserve those walls, because those are the ones that are giving the meaning. Indeed, I don't know if
But I'm a little confused. On the right-hand side where there is an existing bathroom, is that within what we think is the 1957 addition? Were
No.
both of these buildings
okay,
not as deep?
to the sample maps. Yeah. Continue. Oh, no, you are moving forward to the back. No, the other one. Okay, so you can see between 1930 and 1957, that alteration was done. How it looked like? Well, 1930 shows exactly how the building was originally. Well, indeed, I think that the previous sample map, it was shorter. Can you go to
In 1930, they
One-
put
can
like
you
a
go
staircase in
one
between.
less? That's it. So, no, you can see that, yeah, to the left, where there are 2 units, you can see that there was a separation with the rear of the building, but you can see an open patio. How you entry to the open atrium is through that
Yeah.
space in between the buildings. So what I feel that is a better approach is, okay, you want,
Space, that empty space that's there in 1914 and 1919.
yes, and then in 1957, it appears a different one. It appears the current entrance. So if you were, the other alternative is then, if you leave that entrance, then you have to turn left and divide this space by 2. So you would at least retain the walls that you have. Do you understand me?
You want them to go down a corridor to get into the second
No, because
building?
the other alternative is, okay, you can open 3 doors, but go to the photograph, please. Or show me how are you going to open 3 doors because neither,
And how are you going to make it
any of
look-
the existing doors work for the owner with the current project.
But the corridor doesn't have to go both ways. The corridor can just be for one side or the
The
other.
corridor is the corridor is on the door on the right-hand side?
No, on the
That's-
left one,
Oh, the left one is the.
yes. Unless you leave the corridor and you enter to the stores, but through the side of the corridor. That's not gonna work.
But,
Or, what, well,
but there is no, right now, looking at it from the alley, there is no space between this building and the next building. It doesn't look like. There's no patio back there anymore.
No. Well, what you have is a wall here.
Juan, what about,
2 doors.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, how are you going to address it? This door, existing door is here, here, 3 symmetrical doors, side. So you are redoing the whole facade.
How about,
Well, yes, no, without a doubt, we ruined the exemption.
That's.
3, hey, Juan. Juan, can I show you a drawing? Can you go back to the elevation again? Oh, no, that other one. Juan, can you come here a second? Tell me, you know more about,
36?
are we ruining, or is this helping? We keep this, the third one the way it is, and this vestibule just opens to this one. And then just putting this one to match over here. Yeah, yeah. And you still have this window and you still have the entry, it's just. Or have these 2 windows, no, I'm sorry, here we go. Have these 2 windows the same, okay, let me do this over again.
The public, 1836.
1836.
This one stays like that.
That's why the real.
This vestibule is just the door that comes here, and then we do the same two windows like the others. And then this one is, yeah, correct, which spaces with 1, 2, and 3. So these 2 spaces match this space. The only difference in this one is the vestibule is the door. No, the door's already there. Or, yeah. Okay, okay. Well, yeah, then you do the door here and then the 2 windows here, so then these 2 match and then these matches just the door for this one is here. And you have a semblance of the vestibule?
But Texas claims 18.
But at least we get the facade. Is that a happy median?
Okay,
The extensions would be removed with this?
yes, 100%. I mean, there's, what happened in 1957 is this likely. This is what happened in 1957. When they made it all.
Yep.
But there's no way we can make it, I mean, there's no way to make it look correct now.
But
Not if we work with those openings?
I mean, but they'd have to brick in all the windows. And then that will look, yeah.
I think the way it is right now is skirting the historical perspective.
The fact that they were, I'm sure it was stuccoed and they went to the expense of taking off all the stucco. I mean,
Yeah.
they went to a lot of expense, whoever did it.
I mean,
So what's the suggestion then?
I don't have a suggestion because I understand they want to increase the value of their property.
Yep.
I understand that. However, you're in the historic district, you're getting historic exemption. I don't think I have a solution for you.
There's no plan with the existing, where it shows the existing walls and the new
I don't
walls.
have a solution. I don't have a solution.
Just-
No, the solution would be to find the historic photograph. If the owner wants to go back to that image,
But I mean,
and then he will have, no, but he will have three stores, or maybe he would even be surprised, and he could have 4 stores to the right because there's nothing shown on the right building. Indeed, what is
no, it shows it's so narrow that it shows it's 2 double doors only going into those units in the 1926 ones. It shows it's just 2 doors going in.
Yeah.
well,
No windows, it's just the 2 doors going in.
where are the
In the 1926 map, it shows 2 doors only.
okay.
The 2 doors are the width of the
What
building.
what I feel, I mean, that there are a lot of opportunities here, but naturally you have to find the proper owner that wants to do it, because the building to the right had 2 stories. So if they were sacrificing the patio, opening what is happening right now, that everybody wants an open patio on the rear,
Okay, is
since
it-
COVID.
2 stories. The right-hand side or the left-hand side?
No, the left building apparently have 2 potential independent stores, as you can see on the drawing.
Second story on it?
No, on the right,
On the right.
there was 1 story with a 2nd floor. So, I don't
So
know.
that's why it looks so flat, because it had a second
No,
story.
and simply the 2nd story was probably ruined after a hurricane or whatever,
Yeah.
you know?
It would be nice to see where the new walls are in relation to the old walls. I mean,
Well, I feel, I mean, if you compare 1930 with 1957,
He's got the 2 existing walls.
Yeah.
You know, they
Yeah,
have 2
so-
existing walls of 2 original
yeah, that's right.
buildings.
So what you,
They roofed over it.
so that's the reason why the floor plan shows exactly the same, except the rear bathroom. So, you know, I mean, it's a pity, because then you are going to lose absolutely the feeling of this. I mean, this building could never go back to what it.
tenants pay for that type of thing on the interior of the facade. They're gonna pay.
Yep. Well,
But I
They
mean,
wanna see
if
that.
it's a retail building and it only has doors and no windows, I think you lose value there.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the walls on the interior.
Yeah, yeah,
Talking
but
about
what,
keeping the walls on the interior.
but keep the walls in the interior, then, but I'm assuming Mr. Diaz, who is this? Yeah, no, Mr. Flores. I'm assuming Mr. Flores wants 3 units. To
Yep.
get the 3 units, you would put 2 doors only and no windows to restore it to the 1926 version. You'd only get 2 doors.
But they could be the glass doors. And typically, the doors back then were three-quarter lights with the wood paneling on the bottom.
Yeah,
Which was,
yeah. But
not put
I'm
down
sure
that much.
Cricket wants windows. I'll bet you any amount of money,
Yeah.
Cricket wants
Yeah.
windows.
those
which
probably
was
are where
taking out the
French
bottom
doors.
panel.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got the best solution right now. I think that, I mean, because the alternative is less retail look,
Just speaking of the facade.
yeah, just of the facade. Yeah, if you want to split it,
That one, no.
then you have something, you won't get windows. You'd have to put the door in the middle, you'd have to make them French doors, and you don't have anything wide enough to really display.
Okay, what they are showing is simply a center door for each space and storefront on each side. And store,
That would not restore to the 1926 version.
My sentiment is considering that this building goes back to the 1850s as closest to the founding of Brownsville as possible. There's already been enough alterations made to it. I would hate to see more alterations made to lose the historical value of that building.
so my recommendation, can you go and move forward? Recommendations?
I
No.
really don't have a solution.
I'm not opposed to the three spots, but maybe working with the existing walls, they don't have to be exactly straight.
But then,
You can-
okay, but then how much of original is left? If we move the doors to the center like it's shown in the 1926 version, then we're saying fill in the windows, fill in where the door was.
First of all, I'm considering that is I'm probably board member Leal and me are with the same kind of thinking. The proper way to do this kind of rehab is returning back to what the Sanborn map says. So what are the positive things that you can even build a second story on the right building? Now, you have to work with historic photographs, and we don't have it. So then just keep the space as it is right now with those two stores, and that's it. Because you never know when you are going to find a new photograph, and that happens to me all the time. So by maintaining the building as it is, you avoid more changes that are going to absolutely deteriorate what you have there. So if we were finding that historic photograph, probably the left space with those separations, maybe we will see that there was one door or two French doors, or maybe it were one French door and a storefront. We don't know it because we don't have photographs. And to the right, it will happen exactly the same. What is the advantage of that? You will clean the area, you will leave that interior space, bringing back the walls as the limits of both buildings, and then even allowing to the owner to get a second story on the right building, and simply clean also the patio. So, well, I don't know, probably regarding surface, I don't know if he will be ending in the same, or at least, having a clear now concept of the building aligned with what was before.
Well, but then, if we go back to the 1926 version, there's very, very, very little left of what was the Ituria building. I mean, what we have is what we have now, after 1957, and going back, what are we saving? We're not saving, we're taking away.
Well, but the owner doesn't want to change the facade right now. I think the big question right now is whether he can remove the interior walls.
No, he wants to move the doors.
No, he wants to create three similar spaces. Can you go to the floor plan, please?
Yeah, adding a door.
So for that, he's going to demolish the existing walls, and then he reordered the doors.
But where are they gonna come out on the front?
He's moving doors.
He's moving doors.
He's
gonna
moving a
disturb-
door, he's
No,
doing both.
these-
He's doing interior.
These doors are
Yeah,
very
you're
close
right.
together. No, they're no longer close together.
Yeah.
And there's another door. And, I mean,
He's doing
What-
both interior and exterior.
yeah, and,
I-
and
It would
we
be, it
have
would be
ver-
nice if there's
what we
a,
have left is what
Yeah.
we have left.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
not for destroying what we have left.
if the existing walls would have can be shown, I would have liked to have tried to help. Maybe that's where you put the restrooms, maybe
Wait.
that's the way we,
But
try to help
Too
give
many
some
questions
suggestions.
on this.
But we're not gonna, are you for putting in another door?
No, not at the moment. No,
Yeah. And
Okay.
and I needed to have gone too, but
Yeah.
I felt bad because we've already delayed once
Yeah.
before.
uh,
Okay, so, I mean, I don't have a solution, so move to close the public hearing and,
Second.
I think some more design effort can be made to try to, I see no reason to.
Who is moving to what? To table?
we
Move
moved
to
to.
I
we
made a
moved
motion to
the
close public hearing.
Second,
And I said it, he said.
I second, yeah.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay, public hearing is closed.
Okay.
Make a motion.
I make a motion to table.
I'll-
Motion to table. I'm not gonna be for this, so motion to table.
Motion to table second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go on to the last, I believe it's.
Okay, this is the Capistran Tortilleria. Can you move forward? So they are really only doing interior work. So it has been already approved. Simply what I suggest to the designer is to bring here the property owner in order that they could know that by doing, they are going to do an extension later. Okay, this is the site plan. Can you move forward? The kitchen space, and so this is not an historical building. Can you move forward? Okay, and you can see to the right the extension that they do. The problem is that when you do a new addition to a building, then you have to follow the code. So if you follow the code, it's very important where these buildings are going to show, where is going to be shown the facade, because in this district, you can have the parking 5 feet behind the facade. So what I'm suggesting to them, and this is simply for educational purposes, they should have those 2 units of the parking that you can see on the left should have to set back 5 feet behind the future new facade. Otherwise, those parking would be lost. So
That's future.
So right now, they are not going to do this. I only show this for in advance. But the main reason is that the property owners could know the impact on the 2 existing parking units because they only have 4. So that's what I'm so concerned about it. They're going to show this kind of a design. That's okay. And these are the renders,
Looks
okay?
nice.
So they will wrap the existing structure with this expansion. Touching a little bit the historic structure, the non-historic structure, because it was built around the 1990s, and that's what we will have. Okay? So
Just
we,
gonna table this?
we approved, it's simply this really should have to be kind of workshop rather than anything else. Can you go and move to the next one? Because it was already approved.
We don't have to do anything on
No,
the
nothing. So then the next one, okay, and this is 1526 East Tyler Street. It's an empty lot. Okay, can you move forward? So that L in the middle of in the 4th lot, that's the empty photograph of it. So you can see what is in the surrounding. What are the contributing houses in the surrounding? Okay. So they are proposing this floor plan. Go ahead. And initially they work with this one. Can you move forward? Yeah, more. So I think that the owner that is here has been working on the elevations. Can you go back to the elevations?
They can only have parking in the back.
So what I'm suggesting to the owner is to have, let us say, to have first of all, to have only one building material. Secondly, to have the kind of gables the same height and maybe a lower one for the entrance, because that's what it's happening all the time. And the rest, what I was recommending is to do not have stone. If you want to have a wainscot, put brick, but not stone. And then because they are doing board and batten, that's a beautiful way to finish a house, just follow the distance between buttons, that is 12 inches, and that's what you find all the time in Brownsville. So if you don't mind, the owner is here. He may want to introduce, he has some new render. Do you have a new render?
Yeah.
So if you don't mind,
Yeah, I
show
can
it to the board members.
Hello, guys. My name is Juan Jose
They can
Perales.
take a decision.
Let me show you the standard right now to me. So,
Airdrop.
go through the front?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So is Mr. Perales your name?
Shows it all at once.
Juan Perales? Okay.
The facade.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, here. Oh, this looks the same.
Yeah.
Is the same one?
Yeah, it's the
Same
same one.
Okay.
It's just that, this one has all the sides. Just, I think the front, this has the sides and also like, for example, the parking lot is gonna be in the back. It also shows you there.
Okay, so then.
You put the parking in the back.
Yes.
Good for you. They weren't gonna give you a permit otherwise.
Okay, so then.
But the facade's the same. He was recommending board and batten the whole thing or brick instead of stone.
Yeah. That was, I was gonna do the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so brick, and then what about lowering, you wanted him to lower one of the gables? Well, one.
Yeah, so what I was suggesting. Pairing with the living room.
Uh-huh.
Because I cable. One gable here, one gable, another one, and then here, it's sent back, or there's an entrance with gable.
But what?
Hierarchy.
Oh, higher.
All the others, you have maybe the pitch, then you have the gable, all the pitch, and then you have the entrance. That's what I would suggest. And regarding the materials, you have the bottom button separated into 12 pitches, and instead of brick, you may have, instead of stone, you may have brick or all the way.
Okay, but here,
It's already-
his highest gable is in the middle, not over the front door.
This is the door, this is the door right now here is the lower one, this is the high one, this is the middle one, this is the lower one, this is the end. It's already low.
But the middle one is the question, right, Juan?
Yeah.
No, he was saying about the entrance.
He said, I
That was
think,
the entrance.
yeah, I understood the entrance.
Yes, the one had to be
Yeah,
at the bottom.
has to be lower.
Yeah, it's already low.
Have is simply, you have to be able to.
Well, that's what he's done, but but the lower gable, okay, can you pull up what, the front facade?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing different, right? I mean, look,
Okay.
there's nothing different. That is exactly what, okay, so, okay, go back.
Go back.
Go back to the front, okay, go back to that facade. Okay, no, leave it there, where,
Go back to the picture.
the picture.
Not-
Because the picture has this stucco, has stone going up, and it's
Oh,
gonna put.
okay, so you have
siding.
only one door though, right?
Yes,
So
but he's saying but you want this one to be lowered.
The front door is already, the front door
The
is,
front door is lower, the matter is, I mean, the two gables that are there, don't stand quite well, what, that.
three.
Gables there, yeah, instead of two, you know? What is behind it? That's the dining room? or
Yeah,
what's-
this is the room, other room, and the living room is in the middle. This is the entrance, this is our entrance.
Okay, so
And that is the living room?
I don't. Cables.
I'm saying, okay, this one, that is a little bit lower even, then you have a continuum.
Yeah,
If there-
I get rid of
then you
this.
have another one that is.
Go back to the picture, go back to the picture.
what if it was?
Okay.
Okay, there.
Yeah, I see that. I don't get it, but yeah. That-
Okay, so that would just come down as roof.
More or less.
It looks nice. but it doesn't go with what's in the neighborhood. That's the only, that's what we're here to. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I'm just talking about the roof, the skyline. Do you have to have these two, or can you
Okay,
just?
so,
one?
so just, okay, so he eliminates this middle gable. Okay, so fine. Does that sound okay to you?
And this is-
Eliminate that.
Okay, technically on this one, what's this room gonna be?
A bedroom?
A bedroom? Oh, okay.
A bedroom. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion and then I have really got to go. I'm making a motion to approve pending, eliminating the middle gable and, the wainscoting not to be stone, but to be brick. And it's board and batten and everything else and
12
thank, huh?
12 inches.
Without this.
Oh, well, he doesn't have it on the drawing. On the drawing, yeah. There's none of that on the drawing. So there's, yeah, there's no wood, and I make the motion, well, we make a motion to close public hearing.
Well, second.
Public hearing closed. Motion,
All those in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, so I make a motion to approve pending the elimination of the middle gable. There will be board and batten and brick wainscoting and looks very nice. Thank you so much. Appreciate your help. Thank you.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yes. Yes, that's through his office.
Approved on that condition.
So regarding the tax exemptions, is simply to, if you allow me to send them the letters to the property owners, because what I found is that there are a lot that didn't provide the invoices. That
Yes.
doesn't mean, that do not mean that they haven't those invoices, but they need to introduce.
You need a motion, right?
The only,
Yes,
I make a motion that we authorize Juan to send the notices as required.
Accept to me.
yes, the only question is, can we see a draft of the letter? Please?
yes.
Yes, yes,
I'll send to you all.
yes,
Please.
All right.
okay.
That was a motion.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do we need,
Thank
do we
you.
need to vote on that?
Good
or
luck.
no?
Second, who seconded the motion?
Who
Oh,
seconded
Martin?
I'll second.
I made the motion. Who
Okay.
seconded?
Tara did.
Tara?
Me.
Sarah?
Oh,
All in
sorry.
favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll
Thank you,
make the
thank
motion.
you, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Good.
Thank you, no.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Motion to
Go ahead.
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Oh. Properties in compliance and then non-compliant properties and potential actions?
That was it.
That's a workshop.
Yeah, but we will do it in any other time, and I would, it's simply what I said. There are houses without the sufficient maintenance condition, but mainly the big issue is that there are a lot that haven't introduced the invoices, and the ordinance is very clear. You have to introduce the invoices so you can get it.
I know.
And the last year, I have serious issues with the Cameron County. So
Okay.
I don't want to return, otherwise, those properties, what I'm going to suggest is to be blocked.
You still need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
No motion on that. So then do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
I'll
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
One and done.
I'd probably go to municipal.
Okay,
court,
the lunch is inside.
Deal with the prosecutor. They'll take care of you, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, I don't know if I put it for 2 or 2:30.